of from University of Sri Jayawardhanepura, Colombo, Sri Lanka. He is a fellow member of Association of Public Finance Accountants of Sri Lanka, Chartered Public Finance Accountant UK, and a member of Association of Accounting Technicians of Sri Lanka. He is presently heading the Department of Information Management at Sri Lanka Institute Information Technology Business School. He is also the PhD advisor to Global Humanistic University. He has served many positions in academic and professional education institutions. He was the former head of education and training and advisor, academic affairs, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka. Sir has published more than 30 research papers and 2 books in the discipline of management and accounting. Sir is a member of many editorial boards and holds 25 years of experience in teaching and research works in management and accounting. I welcome you, sir, to today's session. We also have with us our internal session chair, Dr. Purva Ranjan. Dr. Purva Ranjan is currently working as a professor and head at DME Management School under GGS IPU, that is Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, New Delhi. She is also the founder and head of the mentoring cell at DME. Dr. Purva works closely with students for skill enhancement purposes for various areas like digital marketing, etc. She has organized several FTPs, workshops, and many conferences. I welcome you to today's session, ma'am. Thank you, both of you, for sparing out your time for chairing today's session. I also welcome my co-hosts of the day, Dr. Seema and Bhupinder sir. Welcome to the session and thanks for helping me out here. We also have our convener, Ms. Roli Vadwa, with us here, and co-convener, Ms. Parul Grover, with us. Last but not the least, I welcome all my students, all the audiences here for attending this valuable session today. I hope and I know this will prove to be fruitful to you, just like the previous 2 days of our conference. Now, uh, sir, I would like to hand over this platform to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Am I
Sir,
audible?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
just to say in between, I'm sorry to interrupt, but sir, we are recording this session and going live on Facebook. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much for inviting me to this wonderful conference, Global Strategic Management Conference 2020 by DME Delhi. And I'm very much happy in interacting with the scholars of Delhi and students of Delhi. And today's session is about the remote working and IT. So I have been given, I think, 40 minutes, right? So I will try my level best to cover it up. So first of all, my introduction, I am Professor Nagalingam Nagendrakumar from Sri Lanka, and I am attached to Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology, the leading #1 non-state university in Sri Lanka. And I have been working in state universities more than 20 years, and now I am in the non-state university. And in between, I have 2 years of experience in Institute of Chartered Accountants, right, in Sri Lanka. So our strict Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology, we have more than 4 faculties. One is business school, so in which I am attached as head of information management and heading the MBA program. Okay, yeah. So I would like to start with the impact the impact. So most of the Asian countries, we were not willing to go remote. That is known factor. That is known factor. The reason is we are highly socialized animal. Highly socialized animal. Right? So we want to go to cinema with all my friends, with all my relatives. I want to eat my breakfast, maybe lunch, maybe dinner with all my friends. If it is university, you don't want to ask, one parcel of lunch packet will be shared among nearly 20 students. That is my experience, right? 20 students surrounded by, and they eat. I don't know about your culture at DME, but most of the universities, maybe even Oxford, where they get into the friends, they share their meal, right? That is the culture. But that culture is far exposed in Asian countries. So if you get into the culture dimensions by the scholars, 5 culture dimensions. So masculinity and femininity. So we are belonging to some feminine culture, right? And individualism and collectivism. We belong to collectivism culture. So the impact of COVID-19 is high in those countries, right? So if I don't want to dig the matter particularly into, but if you take in general the impact of COVID-19, so you can see the graph, how the graph goes down. The United States is highly affected, and advanced countries again highly affected, right? If you take the world GDP, also going down minus. If you take developing countries, they are also going down to minus, but little safe, right? The reason is the connectivity. The developing countries connectivity. The connectivity is less. Where the connectivity goes higher and higher and higher, the impact is again higher and higher and higher. I am talking the connectivity physically, not remote. Keep that in mind, right? Connectivity physical, not remote, right? So the physical connectivity is less for the developing countries, so they are a little safer side. But where the physical connectivity is higher, so the impact is higher. So if you take impact to concerns, so you may have 4 concerns. One is economic side and one is health side, and next one is personal side and social side. So if you take the personal side, the concern, 64% of the people, they are highly concerned about the economy of their economy, family economy. And 64% of, again, the personnel are highly concerned about the health, their personal health. If you take the other quadrant, the societal concern of the economy is very high, 88%. So most of the societal factor, all the society in the world, they are thinking about the economy as a whole, and 82% they think about the health of the economy. So it is very happy and noticeable positive side of the world that 88% of the society, they look into the well-being of the economy, well-being of the society. It's a very positive side. So, so most of the people are not individualistic. Most of the people think very common. So we have to come out from this. So that is very good. So with that, if we get into the concerns to remote working. So earlier, I said the physical connectivity gave more and more impact to the economy. Now also it is happening. So most of the ports are closed. Even in Sri Lanka, most of the ports are closed, right? However, the remote connectivity is getting increased. So if you take more than 50% of the globe are now on remote. Earlier not, it is higher than this, okay? This is higher than this. Now it goes around 60 to 65%. If you take two countries as example, Chinese, they are going beyond 65% on remote working, and UK, they are going more than, nowadays it is more than 50%. So almost all the countries, they are now trying to get into the remote working. So before COVID-19 also this concept came in, but most of the time, based on the culture and different barriers and different thinking patterns and the perceptions, this was not to that extent well accepted and institutionalized. But now it is forced. It is forced. I will come into that later, right? Slowly I will get into, and finally I will give you how to institutionalize the remote working in your institution, in your family, in your country, in your region. So how we can do it, right? So a little example of our country, Sri Lanka. So nearly 10 million are exposed to internet, and it is 47% of the total population, and the annual growth of the internet access is 4.1% in Sri Lanka, and 98% of the internet users, they use the mobile internet references. So this is a good sign as far as the Sri Lankan context is concerned, right? So if you take Sri Lankan context, I'm taking one example from bank, right? I don't have many minutes to talk to you, only 40 minutes. So if you see this graph, the physical clearance of the checks are getting reduced. That is from 47 billion to its 36 billion. So it has reduced. So that has been conquered by the online transaction. So good. So remote working is getting increased in the finance sector also, right? So this is not only a fact in Sri Lanka, but also the fact in all over the world, even in India, right? So online banking is becoming a must for each and every citizen in every corner of the world, right? So if you take the LinkedIn survey also says little differently that this is very much suitable for the IT industry. The remote working is highly suitable for IT industry. And again, the IT backed the discipline, that is digital advertising, digital marketing, and digital financing. That is why I said the banking. So banking also has gone digitized. So wherever possible, even health, wherever possible, if you can go digitized, then you can go on remote. So it is not necessary for you to get into the traditional mode of work, right? Traditional mode of having the human resource management practices, right? So if you take the intention to support the remote work, so most of the people say that during the rest of their career, the 99% of the employees, they say that they are willing to work remotely. It's positive side. It's positive side. And again, 95% of the people say that they encourage others also to work remotely. Also positive side. And 91% of the people say they support the remote working. They support the remote working. And again, the mode of remote working, the 84% of the employees, they say they work from home. work from home. This is where the problem comes in. So where we work from home, what will happen is we have to highly concentrate on the home culture. Home culture. Sometimes my wife will ask me to cook. Right? So if I am not cooking, sometimes I will be thrown out from the house. So that the risk is there. Risk is there. So I want to avoid that risk. So I want to have that mission also met. So in that scenario, little conflict of interest will may be there with the work. So risk is there, but we can handle. We can handle. We can handle. Handle in the sense your human resource management practices should be changed to the remote working context. You cannot have each and every human resource management practices we had up to now. You have to throw away everything. You have to throw away everything. So you have to change your mind. You have to change your perception. You have to change your human capital management practices. Right? Yeah. So some people, they remote work from co-working spaces, so with the co-workers, and some people from coffee shops, with sometime maybe with the would-be. So if the would-be is there, you know whether you can work or not. So risk is there, risk is there, risk is there. So business is risk, you know. We have to accept business is taking risk. So family business is taking risk. You are taking risk. It's a family business, right? So forever up to 70 years or 75 years, you are risking yourself into one unit of business. So everything is business, right? Fine. Okay. So, and again, this is very, very important point in remote working. So 75% of the people, they say the company, they do not meet the expenses, charges, the data charges are not met, So 18% of the employees, they say yes, and 7% say partially. So if you all are not meeting the data charges, the cost of working, so they are happy to come to the workstation and work. But we all are asking during the COVID-19 only, I'm talking, we are forcing the people to work at home. Right? And we, the management, we need to achieve our objective and the goals and the mission and the vision. To that purpose, we are forcing them to work from home. So I know that there is the argument. So the traveling expenses is not there and several expenses are not there, it's saved. So it's agreed. It's agreed. However, you have a responsibility towards your employee. That is what I said, human capital management practices you have to change. You cannot have some sort of traditional mindset up in your here and talk on remote work. If you are talking with the traditional perception, you will lose. You will lose. This is one area. 75% of the data charges are not met. So give them, right? At least an allowance. Rather than cutting the salary during COVID-19, motivate them. They will give you more productivity to your organization. This is from my experience I am talking, right? This is my experience. So in my institute, earlier traditional, if it is 100% productivity, now it is 150%, you know. It is 150%. So it is an accidental discovery. Right. So remote working means, right, we are going away from our tradition. That's it. Not more than that. We are going away from our tradition. But COVID-19 has made some sort of compulsion. But it is not a new thing to the world. It is very simple. It is very simple. So you all are having everything at your office, in your cabin. Now you all are maintaining everything in your machine. That's it. Now also I am having good eye contact with Parul and Rolly Batwa and again Vishwa Acharya, professor. Yeah. So it's, you see how interaction happens. It's your passion and your way of doing things where you make your employees committed. If you are not what I can say, good leader and giving good leadership, then everything will go west. Most of the time, the Asian people are managers, not leaders. We all know. If you all are managers, you will all lose in the remote working. If you all are leaders, if you all are going beyond leadership, then you will win. The sharing is very, very important. You know, sharing is very, very important. Now I am sharing my slide. Very basic thing I am telling you. And again, the sharing during the working hours, you may be working from home. So how you all are sharing your thoughts, how you all are sharing your feelings with the co-workers. So the same spirit when you are at work traditionally, that should prevail during the remote working also. So before starting a meeting, do you all say hi and sharing something and giving some sort of joke and all these things, and at least a virtual hug? Yeah, now virtual the parties are going on, drinking parties are going on. So if that is happening, why I cannot have a virtual hug? So everything is possible, right? Everything is possible. So for the professionals, remote working is highly influential. But most of the time now, even during the COVID, even the small boutique, they have also get into this type of business. I'm very happy. I have done several research during this COVID and the IT, and I was very happy that even a small entrepreneur is very much interested in getting into the remote. Yes. So, so the trend, remote working trend, so co-working spaces, traveling working, or the gigging and condensed weeks. So the co-working spaces I have told you. So you are setting up your own spaces, right? You are setting up your own spaces. In our institute also, we have several setup studios of lecture. So it is soundproof and everything well set. So if you are doing the lecture, it's highly, what I can say, attractive. Yeah. And so everything will be there. And travel working, this is good for the people, those who are engaged in highly professional oriented works, those who are traveling here and there, and during that time they will have to work. So during the traveling. So this is highly influential to this Generation Z employees, right? And gigging. So you all know that gigging economy has come up. So it's unavoidable. So most of the very young people are not willing to be there for years and years in a company, right? Like us. So I was there in state universities for more than 20 years. But the youngsters now, they will not. So they will keep on changing. They will keep on. They seek something, right? It's not wrong. They seek something good. They seek something, right? They seek something innovative, creative. They want something. They are searching something. If your company is not giving that search met, then they will be going out. So those type of people, they are gigging. So they are using this remote as a very good opportunity. Freelancers. So, and next, the condensed weeks. So you set up your own week of work and you work for the other companies and you have your own leisure time. You don't like the traditional way of working, right? And you don't want 5 days. You will work 3 days and you will finish the work of the 5 days within 3 days, and you will go away. You will be paid for the 5 days. So why I want to waste my 2 days, right? It's coming up now. And if the essential for the remote working, so I don't want to say this, right? You have to have all the gadgets. Now also we are having all the gadgets, and time is very, very important to the time management. Also, there are several applications, right? So there are several apps, so you can get into and manage. And then you have to telepresence. That's very, very important. There are several ways. Now we are on Zoom. Right? There are several ways. So as far as our institution is concerned, we use Zoom, WebEx, Teams, everything, right? So, and our own exam platforms, several things are there. Right? So now the examinations are on now in our institute. There are more than 20,000 students population. Our exam, the exam sitting percentage is 97%. 97% of the students, they have sat for the exam. From yesterday's statistic, I'm telling you, online. So it has become a part of life. Keep that in mind, that my wife is my part of my life, right? I cannot go away. Whatever happens, I have to be with her, right? No, can't help. Everything is over, no? So likewise, this is, it's part of your life. You have to take it and enjoy, and select your own platform, and select the effective platform, right? That's very, very important. So if you take the remote working benefits, most of the students, you might have been in the first day of the inauguration. In that inauguration, this was dealt. So I will not dealing with highly, right? So I said the productivity has gone up, even from my experience to my department. The productivity is 150%, Earlier, I was seated in the traditional setup in the cabin, seated, and I was looking around, and I look around my staff, what they are doing. And now also I see what my staffs are doing. Oh my God, it is 150%. I have to praise them. They are doing well. And even, those days in the traditional office hours, I used to control those staff. Now I am a little shy, What I have done is wrong. Now I am not doing any control over them. But everything is going very smoothly and very accurately, Everything is going very accurately. And the staff, they send their files only for my reference. If anything is there, if I am having anything to be corrected, right, then I will correct. So I think all have become self-directed, all have become self-motivated, all have become self-controlled. So this is an esteemed position. This is an esteemed position, Give me 1 second. Yeah. So if you take the benefits, enable the business continuity. So business continuity plan, give me 1 second. Okay, little noise was there. That is what I went and okay. Then enable a better work-life balance. So now also I did a work-life balance. Little noise came in, since I am at home, little noise came. So I have to balance. It's a practical example now happened, So this type of thing, right, are there. And again, the challenges, very important, very big challenge is the communication, how I communicate. We have to develop that skill. I will come in this different slide also, separate slide. Communication is very, very important. If you want to go on remote, communication is very, very important. Whether I give the correct message to the audience, it's very, very important. During the remote working, whether my emailing of a message to my boss gives the correct meaning to my boss. Very, very important. If anything goes wrong, it's a mess. So if it is face to face, the boss also will talk, and there will be a two-way interaction, and finally you will get into the correct position. But in the emailing, the remote working, if boss is not responding to you, then the mess starts. That is the place where the productivity goes down. So we have to have the communication skill developed, right? And again, the loneliness and the isolation, it's very huge, right? But for me, this loneliness and isolation will not be there if you all are enjoying the family. If you all are not enjoying the family, then you will feel it. You will feel that the staff environment, the office environment is lost. In that direction, you will feel you are isolated. But youngsters are the people, those who feel this. So they want the friends. More than the family, they want the friends. Right? I'm talking practical side. So like that, there are many challenges, right? So tips for working remotely. So find the right space. This is very important. Very, very important. Right space. So the DME requested me to have the background. So when the virtual background is in place, sometimes my face not be highly visible. So I have to have the setup arranged, the space arranged, and everything arranged. And even in the virtual setup, I have to click here and there. Everything I have to make it very clear. It's very important, very important. If your face is not very clear, and if your facial impressions are not clear, then how the audience can enjoy you? They cannot enjoy. It will be a bore. They may be sleeping. It's a very good platform to sleep. Right? Remote lecturing is a very good platform for the students to sleep. Even in the physical setup, the students, while we were teaching, they sleep, They feel like that rhythm comes to sleep, right? So if we allow in the remote also to sleep, then nothing is productive. Keep that in mind, right? Yeah. So set a schedule. So don't be rushing here and there. Have the schedule and get dressed. So I can see all the DME professors and officers. They are highly dressed and very beautiful. And so very, very happy to see all of you. That's very, very important. So don't think that I am from home, so I will have my own dress. Don't say that. No, you should dress accordingly. You should go beyond your office dress, I would say. Yeah, you should go beyond. And then You have to plan during the break. So you will be the office hours. Sometimes you will be having small breaks. Again, you have to plan, and you have to communicate often. That is very, very important. I said, don't make any mess in your office. If your boss is not returning back, again, have a reminder. Check whether the boss has taken the message very clearly. It's very, very important. Even with your peers, even with your students, check whether they have taken what you say. So during the Zoom lectures, during your WebEx lectures, during your team lectures, check them. Check them. 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes gap. Take a gap and have a small activity and check them whether they are with you. Call them by name. Call them by name and ask them whether they have been with you. It's very, very important. Ask for support. Anytime ask for support from your office. Very, very, as far as our institute, university is concerned, the final one, support is huge. We ask for support. If anything goes wrong, we ask for support. So they support us, they help us. So anything goes wrong, it is not wrong. It is a learning. It becomes a learning. So they come in and they support. They tell us this is the thing. So it's a learning, and I am improved now. You see, this is very, very important. And this is my international webinar to nearly 40 countries during May of 2020. So I said, so the COVID-19 has given rise to several arts, resolve, resilience, reassess, return, reimagine, reinvent, resurgence, reform, become responsible. You become responsible for everything, right? So if you take everything to your track, then only you will continue relevant. So you cannot keep yourself locked down. So there are several accidents happening in the world. Since the accidents are happening, do you hate driving? So what I say is, now situation is like this. You have to repair your Airbus while flying. That is the situation. That is the management. That is the challenge. That is the risk that we are facing now. Now, while flying, there is a fault in the Airbus. Now, while flying, you have to repair the Airbus. While living with the COVID, you have to have your business also growing. That is the management. That is the management. For that, one strategy, one pathway is remote working. That is the new normal. That is the new normal, right? That is the new normal here. This point, that is the new normal. Remote working is the new normal. So now in Sri Lanka, the second wave has happened. So second wave, we went back. During May, I said, you will go back. Now we have went back. In several countries, they are going back. No, we don't want to. If I correctly plan myself, if we have the business continuity plan, so from this, you will stop and continue, and continue, and continue, and continue. Right? So to continue like that without going back again for second wave, third wave, fifth wave like that, without going, and if you want to go forever and aware with the COVID-19, you have to build the skills. So if time is okay, tell me, and I will finish it very quickly. So biggest skill that you have to have is the flexibility. Flexibility, very, very important. You have to be flexible towards your organization, towards your subordinates, right? And again, towards your family, everything, you have to be flexible. You cannot be rigid, you cannot be rigid. So every day, please try to exercise so your body get flexible, right? So you can bend like this and bend like this and bend like this, like that. Your mind also should bend for every side. So if wife says, say yes, and boss says, say yes, 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 flexible and go. Right? And next one is, so next skill is how to unplug from the remote work. When you get into the remote work, so the work will continue. Getting out is very, very difficult. So you have to develop that skill. So if you are getting out at 5 o'clock in the evening, then you have to unplug. That's very, very important. That's very, very important, right? Sometimes we go even after 12 o'clock, I had the day before yesterday, 12:30 midnight, a webinar. It was from some other country. So it was a must for me. I have to go. So 12:30, myself and some other professors were sitting during midnight. That is unavoidable, but to your office hours, you can manage and unplug. That's very, very important. Your loneliness you have to manage, how to collaborate, right? And how to stay motivated. You have to develop in you. That's very, very important. That's what I'm telling. The business is going away from the groups to the individual. Teamwork, yes, teamwork is there, but individual-based teamwork is now emerging, a new concept. If anyone is there, we can research for the PhD. The individual-based teamwork. So without individual, team cannot exist like that. It's a new thing coming into my mind, but we can develop a scenario. It is developed, it has practically developed. Now we have to theoretically develop, right? And so new skills, the ability to self-direct your career and train. That is a must. Now see, HR manager, they are now out. Yourself. Second, a solid proficiency in digital productivity tools. Sufficient proficiency. It is not PhD, sufficient enough, right? And empathy, not sympathy. You should maintain the empathy towards your employees. Now they are also with their kids. They are also living with the risk of the COVID. So they want to protect their kids, right? They want to take the kids to the school. So they are also afraid of taking the kids to the school where the COVID is there. So sometime half an hour delay will be there getting into the remote. So you cannot be the boss of such type to fire the people. No. You should have the empathy, right? And you have to develop that skill, empathetical skill. Emotional intelligence. In the empathy, one comes emotional intelligence. So you cannot say the emotional intelligence be the threat. No, it is intelligent, emotional. All are emotional. All are emotional. We are not emotional idiots, but we are emotional. So if anything happens to my son, I cannot be like this. I will leave the remote working and I will look after my kid. So the boss cannot say that you went out from the remote working or meeting. No. I am committed to you working from home and giving you 150% of the productivity. Keep that in mind. Be empathy and an ability to communicate and express your ideas clearly using the digital devices instead of face-to-face. So they are all the digital devices you are using now, right? So perfect picture should be given. That skill you have to develop. So with that, during 2017, I developed how to institutionalize an institution. How to institutionalize an institution. I am not talking about the institution of DME or Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology. I am talking about the institution. There are several institutions. The world is filled of institutions. Since of the institutions, the cultures emerge. So the remote working, also going away from the traditional culture, office culture, to remote working culture. So how we can institutionalize that remote working? Maybe at your office, maybe at your region, maybe at your country, maybe the world at large. So my model says there are actors interplay. There are actors, those who interplay, Those actors we can divide into universal actors. So as far as COVID is concerned, the WHO and all the countries, those who are seeking for the vaccine, they are trying for the vaccine. And local actors, maybe your state chief minister. I was looking at a news that your chief minister was warning, right? So I think Gajriwal or Badriwal, I don't know. Am I correct? Yeah, my correct pronunciation of name?
Yes, yes, Arvind Kejriwal.
Okay, he was warning, right? So if the actors, they interplay, if it is very strong, then negotiation happens. That negotiation may be among the universal actors, maybe among the local actors, maybe among the local actors. So if the negotiation among the universal actors are very strong, negotiation is very strong, they will pull you. So India will be pulled, Sri Lanka will be pulled by the universal actors to do something. And where the local actors, the interplay on that matter is very strong and the negotiation also strong, then that country will push the departments, institutions, and corporates, all the people, citizens of that country, the country will push to do something. If that is strong, the incorporation of that matter will occur. So now it is remote working. So universal actors and the local actors, how they behave, how they negotiate, whether it is strong enough, whether the DME's strategies are strong enough, or the corporates in India, their strategies are strong enough. If that is so, if it is strong enough, incorporation will happen. From my experience also I am talking, right? So if the incorporation has happened, if you give the reward, that is what I said, 75% of the people they say they are not given the data charges. That is where you are losing. So give the reward, be empathetical, and make awareness of reasons why we want to go on remote working. Give them the reasons why. And what are the benefits? The important benefits is we can protect ourselves and our kids from COVID. First benefit is that, give them. And if that happens, the remote working practices will be accepted by the country, citizens of the country, citizens of the corporate. So if that is accepted, it is called conscious institutionalizing. This is consciously you all are institutionalizing the remote working practices. You know you are working remotely. Conscious. So I am riding, I am driving, I am swimming. So consciously I am doing. If this conscious institutionalization sustains, if you continue for long period of time with giving your employees a security, maybe it's job security. So if you go remote, most of the time employees feel that some of the employees will be terminated. So if you give the security, and sustain, then you make that particular remote working practices the culture of your country, the culture of your company. It has become the culture. So traditional culture is now transformed into the remote working culture. That is the new normal. That is the new normal. So we have to make the new normal a culture. So when you make the culture, it is unconscious institutionalization, unconscious institutionalization. So you never think about, I am working remote. It is my passion. It is my culture, you know. Wherever I go, I work. I swim, so I swim without thinking that I am swimming. That is the unconscious institutionalization. I drive without thinking that I am driving. Right? So whatever you do, from the beginning to the end, the logic of appropriateness should prevail. So each and every point, the logic of appropriateness. So now some of the top managers may think that this is the time to give more and more work to the employees. No, this is you are converting your traditional works to the remote working since of some reasons. So you cannot pack the employees with more and more work, right? If you are doing that, that is not logic of appropriateness. Logic of appropriateness is, if I take COVID as an example, COVID has given us some sort of the compulsion. So I am transforming the same work to the next level, remote work. So what has happened to me, 100% productivity is, I never said I want 150% productivity. I did little by little change the culture. The culture itself, synergy effect, it is called the synergy effect. The synergy effect, what happened was it went up to 150. So don't pack your employees with more and more things. It will automatically happen. The logic of appropriateness should be there, very, very important. And again, you have to monitor and feedback. It is fine. At last, I have given you. The final one is the monitoring and feedback. I told you earlier, I am little shy. I have controlled my staff. Now I think, no, it's staff, they are self-motivated, you know. So why I want to have this monitoring and all these things? Even monitoring, I can take it out, but only feedback is enough for me. What you all are doing, please tell me, that's enough for me. If I am having any concern, I will tell you. That's it. So all over the world, we will have a better life. So I remind you the first slide, the impact. So everything has gone down. If you institutionalize the remote working, everything will go up. That is the promise that I can make. With that, I get into my experience and going to finish. So I was working in Institute of Chartered Accountants for 2 years. So 2018, I had a curriculum revision for the Chartered Accountants, and I introduced the online platform. All the stakeholders, they went against me and resisted me. And even they went to court, and finally court said, no, the institute can go, no issue. But since of the resistance, we stopped that. But now, after the COVID, the Institute of Chartered Accountants, now they are asking me the advice how we can go online. Right? So sometimes our human beings are little selfish when the force comes in, again that selfishness works, and we have to be there in the market, so we have to get into that forcefulness. Again, selfishness works, right? And as far as Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology, I would say it's a huge experience I am having, and a lot of, if face-to-face also 100% we are ready, if online also we are 100% ready, right? So highly, each and every platform are highly effective, and everything goes very, very, what I can say, successful. And you have to think about the cyber security. That's very, very important during their work, remote working. Cyber security is very, very important. get into the cybersecurity rank in the world. That is, Greece is number one now, Greece, and Sri Lanka is 98, and check India. So where are you in the cybersecurity? It's very, very important. So when you connect with each and everyone, that threat is there, right? So that is very, very important. Finally, I'm giving you with that. Thank you very much for listening. And I had a very, very wonderful time with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing so much of your valuable information on the topic of remote working. In particular, I was fascinated by a graph that you started your presentation with, how the developing countries have been comparatively less affected as compared to the advanced countries, including US. So US's growth rate was at the bottom in comparison with the other groups of countries. So that was particularly fascinating for me. And all the other major issues that you discussed, like you gave tips on how to work from home, then the challenges that people face during remote working, and the skills required. So thank you, sir, for this wonderful master class. To move ahead, we will now have the paper presentations by our esteemed participants who have submitted their papers for this conference. So today we have 5 papers scheduled for this paper presentation session. The rights for the judgment sheet have been shared, have been given to both the external session chair, sir, and ma'am, Dr. Purva. So once we are done with the presentations, I would request both of you to please finalize the marks after the presentations. So after the marks have been finalized by both of you, we will then download the sheet, and editing will no longer be possible. So before proceeding ahead, I would like to inform the paper presenters for today that you will get a maximum of 15 minutes, excluding the question and answer session. 15 minutes are exclusively for you to present, maximum of 15 minutes. We will be noting the time. In fact, I will be noting the time for that matter. And the first presentation for the day is by Miss Aditi Kundra and Akshita Bharadwaj. And the title of their paper is Interlinking of Work from Home and Technology. Before we begin, I would request sir and ma'am to please check whether you can edit the judgment Google sheet, or is there any issue with that, so that we can resolve it. Sir, do you have the link of the Google sheet? Judgment sheet?
I have.
Okay, sir. I hope you can edit that. It's editable.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Ma'am, should we begin? Puva, ma'am?
Yes, let us start. I guess your presenter wanted the co-host settings to share screen.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. I would request my backend team to please make Miss Aditi Kundra and Akshita Bharadwaj the co-hosts, so that they can share their presentation.
Sure, ma'am. I've done it for Aditi. I'm doing for Akshita.
Ma'am, shall we start?
Aditi and Akshita, are you both ready?
Ma'am, just a second. So good morning, everyone. I would like to tell you that I am a stammerer, so I'm sorry if I take a bit longer time to present my screen.
No
Sorry
issue,
for the
Akshita.
inconvenience.
Please continue.
Akshita, all the best. Be confident. Okay. Thank you. So good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akshita, and I am going to present my research paper on interlinking of technology and work from home. Next slide, please. So here are the table of contents. First, I'll be given an introduction to the topic, then objectives, resource methodology, discussion, data analysis, and conclusion. It's like so the rapid growth in technology enable the extensive use of
I think not clear.
electronic devices such as
Akshata, sorry to interrupt. If possible, can Aditi present? Can she give the presentation? Because there's a lot of problem with the voice.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Aditi, can you give the presentation because there's a lot of audio issue.
Okay, ma'am. I'll give the presentation. Sorry, I wasn't giving the presentation first because I have a little issue with my throat, but I'm sorry for the inconvenience. So the introduction of the topic. The rapid growth in technology enabled the extensive use of electronic devices such as smartphones, laptops, and tablets to enable employees to communicate efficiently across the globe. However, only a few studies have analyzed the effect of technology at work from home. According to a study in 2020 itself, telework can be defined as the art of working which is performed at home for any other different locations, enabling workers to access their technologies. Technology has become an essential need in the world today. Without the artificial intelligence, no business or company can stand on its own feet and grow. Why is it? Just a minute. Objectives of our presentations are current challenges, hope trends, and survey. Research methodology, quantitative, a conceptual take on how technology has been a friend and a foe while working from home. Qualitative, a practical intake including a statistics on impact of technology in corporate and educational sector. So we have basically divided our paper into three main subs. The first is the organizational support for home-based telecommuting. The second is the digital revolution and higher education. And the third is monitoring screens. Let's talk about the first one, which is the organizational support for home-based telecommuting. Although there have been many studies in relation to telecommuting, reports have suggested that employer support is serving a useful function. There is surprisingly little research on how organizations are attempting to facilitate this HBT process in order to make remote working more effective. There are a few techniques that one can keep in mind. Let's talk about the psychological aspects first. Leadership. It is one of the most essential tools in HBT to have productive outputs. In any relationship, whether personal or professional, it is imperative to have honesty. In this time of change and uncertainty, many companies are not able to stand on their own feet, let alone grow in the market. The other points that we can talk about are identity, mission, value, and purpose. Let's talk about the technical aspects. We all know what emailing is, right? We even for anything in the world, we use email. We just write the ID of a person and then we send it out. Others are video conferencing, which we are on right now, file storage, sharing, etc. Second, the digital revolution. Based on a report given by Pew Research Center, surveys were conducted in the year 2011. The first one was the online survey, which was conducted for 2,142 adults, ages of 18 and above. Whereas the second survey, which was also an online survey, was in association with the Chronicle of Higher Education among the presidents of 1,055 private, public, and for-profit colleges and universities of 2 years and 4 years. The key findings of the surveys were the essence of online learning. Only 29% of public and approximately half, that is about 51% of the college presidents said that it had the same weightage of classes that were conducted online. The prevalence of online courses. Online courses are more prevalent, said about 77% of higher education presidents, where 89% of 4-year public colleges and universities are offering online classes. Just about 60% of 4-year private schools do the same. Online students. Roughly about 1/4 of online students, which would be about 23%, have taken classes online. This percentage of online students doubled, which would be about 46% when we talk about those who graduated in the last 10 years. 39% of all students who have been taking classes online say that the format of online classes is equivalent to those taken in the classroom. The future, where 15% say that the online education going is where 15% of the online education, where 15% of the students are taking online education, about 50% more predict that in the next decade, about 90% of the education is going to be online. And if I must say that right now in the times of COVID, we are all actually studying in online. And this was the survey which was taken in 2011. So 10 years down the line, this is what is actually happening. Electronic textbooks. Near about 2/3 of college students, that is about 62%, anticipate that in the next 10 years, 90% of the books are going to be digitally available. Even before the COVID, there were a lot of books, there were a lot of e-textbooks that were available to us. And thanks to Amazon and other online buying sites, the use of Kindle and other resources have been on a great height. Electronics being in the class. Do electronics belong in the classroom? More than half of the recent college graduates, 57 say that when they were students, they used laptops, tablets, and smartphones. We all are doing the same right now. And about 41% say that they were allowed to use them, leaving just about 2% who were absolutely prohibited to use. Moving forward, monitoring screens. I would just like to talk about what is happening in the corporate sector right now. We might have seen anyone in our family or anyone working in the corporate sectors. They have a lot of, they have their, what do you call, they have to achieve something, they have their goals set, right? But since they're working online, you cannot keep a tab on what a person is doing. I mean, if I may be so bold enough, I would just say that I am working on a particular project, but then I would not end up working on it. So it is actually hard to manage and hard to keep a track on, which is why this term of monitoring screens was implemented. In this, the employers are using tech tools to keep a close watch on their remote workers. Because as many workers are shifting into a new reality, managers are left concerned about the productivity of these. I'm sorry, there's something going on in the road, so I couldn't do anything. It may be, ma'am, could I just take a minute? I'll close the doors. I'm so sorry for the disturbance. Or is it all right? Should I continue?
It's all right, Aditi. This is what remote working does to all of us. So don't worry.
Yes,
That's what the conference is all about. Please continue.
yes, ma'am, absolutely. So it may be tempting to slack out during the comfort zone of your home. Employees still have to be on their best because even though their bosses are not physically present there, they are going to keep a watch on them. So since we are all using Zoom right now, let's just take an example of Zoom. The Zoom app itself has a key monitoring feature which have put to spotlight recently. Though some of us experience concerned about it, it is proving to be a good method to keep check on who is mentally present in conferences calls. For example, actually what this thing does is if you close your task for 30 seconds, the admin or the person who is the host can check if you are actually attending it or if you just gone off and just admitted into yourself into the forms. So Akshita and I took the authority to conduct a survey with the help of Google Forms, and in this we connected with a few corporate sector employees, a few teachers, and also students. And we got to know that though technology has brought elevation for teachers from one another, they are still struggling. And this difference in technology, which teachers are facing right now, is what we termed as the digital divide. Even though this technology has some benefits to it, it also has some disadvantages. And for that, we conducted a survey. It was quite surprising to see where we had a framed mindset of people working home and feeling like a vacation. The replies were quite the opposite of what a vacation might feel like. So in this, as you can see, the first pie chart is of productivity. We have, since I just told you that it was done in corporate, teachers and students. The productivity of the corporate sector employees were highest, then the teachers, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I guess the students were just slacking off. And the second pie chart was of telecommuting satisfaction, of how this process, this new normal is being satisfactory. So the least what I would say was about the corporate and teachers, because they have to manage their household work, their office areas. So it wasn't that of a satisfactory matter. And well, again, students were on the highest. But despite all of these graphs and all of the statistics, the problems faced were almost similar in all. The problems faced were defined as network issue problems, power cuts, reduced supervision and direction, difficulty in adapting to newer techniques, effect on eyesight, and sore body. The conclusion would be that even though technology plays a vital role in our lives, connecting us throughout the world and making things easier for us, it somehow leaves a certain disadvantageous effects too. Telecommuting is not a new term, but since this pandemic, it has become somewhat a mandate, leaving many of us still struggling to learn about these new techniques and tools. Thank you. Sir, ma'am, if you would have any questions, we would be happy to answer them for you.
Not an issue, Aditi. That was a nice presentation, I must say. Now over to Professor Nagendra for the question and answer session. The presentation was completed well within time.
Should I stop sharing?
Yes, fine.
Yes, you may stop.
So your methodology, you said the quantitative and qualitative. Am I correct?
Yes.
So what are the data that you used under the quantitative and what are the data you used under the qualitative?
So under the qualitative, I had mentioned two surveys because the first was done we didn't do the survey. It was an online research, and we found out that already a survey in 2011 was done in relation to the few centers.
You are not clear. You are not clear, Aditi.
Sir, am I clear now?
Actually, there is some disturbance in the audio, Aditi, at your end.
Akshita, can you answer? Akshita, can you answer?
Both of you, anyone out of you can answer the question. Akshita or Aditi?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, am I clear now?
A little okay, but the disturbance is there.
Akshita, would you be okay in answering?
Akshita, please go ahead and answer. We'll wait for your answer. Don't worry and relax. Okay? Don't be nervous. We're listening to you only. Come on, answer.
The quantitative data, we did a survey. Okay, 1 minute.
Is the sound maximum? Volume, I mean.
Was
Volume is actually low, not an issue with your audio, but volume, your system's volume. Can you check if the volume is maximum?
Type your answer.
You can type in the chat box.
There are several ways to answer. If you're facing audio issues, we just need the answer. Just type and send it on the public chat. That's okay. While you are replying to the question, I have a question to Aditi. Aditi, since you both did a survey and you identified few problems, from your end, what are the suggestions or recommendations, or maybe some tips that we can use to avoid these situations that you identified? Unmute, Aditi, unmute. Unmute.
Sorry, ma'am. Ma'am, if I'm being honest, we can't really deal about the power cuts that are happening in our country. So, but as far as the network issues are concerned, I can only say that if it is financially acceptable to you, you can increase the bandwidth of your Wi-Fi. But at the end of the day, power cuts are still there, and even if you increase the bandwidth of your Wi-Fi, there will be some network issues. Like for example, if somebody is on, if there is one Wi-Fi at home and there are 4 to 5 or 3 to 4 people on video conferencing chat at the same time, there is going to be some network issues. And as far as the psychological and the physical aspects are concerned, ma'am, one has to have a strong mind to deal with it. And I would just suggest that even though it interferes with your family time, you still should take out some time and you should talk things out with anyone who is dear to you or who is a friend. It shouldn't be in a way that you are just collecting and keeping things inside you. It might not, you might not think that it is going to harm you right now, but later on, you might start resenting your work. You might start resenting the job you're doing. So you shouldn't just keep things into your mind inside of you. You should take it out. You should talk to other people. So I would just say that. Ma'am, any other question? Sir, I am just writing down your answer. Sir, am I audible to you now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the quantitative, sir, we talked about the various aspects and the various techniques that were being used by people. And in the qualitative, I mentioned a research that was done by the Pew Center. It was an online survey which was conducted for about 2,000 teenagers and adults of colleges and the presidents of colleges, teachers, and the students themselves. And as far as and we also did research on our own, in which we contacted our fellow mates and we asked them to share this form of ours, and we were able to approximately contact for about not many people, but around 90 to 100 people, and we combined their views, their results, and I just posted that on our PPT for a presentation.
What is the analysis technique you used?
Sir, it was nothing new. It was just done by the use of Google Forms. And then we collaborated the results.
That is data collection. Using Google Form is a method of collecting data. How did you study the data that you collected, sir is asking?
Ma'am, Google Forms themselves, they provide us with charts and graphs, and we also read and we also made our own tables on rough sheets, and we collected all of them. We took down the notes, and then we generated this result. I may be struggling a bit here.
Then you did not develop the hypothesis. No. I am okay.
Further, go ahead with the data that you have and use it by putting some tool, by developing a simple hypothesis. You can still use the same data and use some empirical tool to it.
I guess Aditi and Akshita, you make use of research methodology when you would be going through that in your next semester. So that will come handy to you. You can implement those tools that you will study in your paper, and you can come up with a new paper.
Okay.
So pay attention during your RM class next semester.
Yes, ma'am.
Suchi, I am unable to edit your marks sheet.
Okay, I would request Parul ma'am to please.
So I have given you the rights. Let me just tell you which email ID the email ID on which we've been corresponding till now. I have given rights to that email ID of yours. You need to refresh the page once, and then you will be able to edit it. Let me just tell you the email ID to which I've given the rights to edit. So this is nagalingam.n@sliit.lk. So that is the email ID you need to log in from and then access this judgment sheet.
Meanwhile, please align the next presenter, whosoever is presenting next.
Go ahead. I am okay.
Yeah, please align the next person. While sir, I have already entered the marks.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, sir. The next presentation is by Miss Mehak Mathur, Rishabh Singh, and Shimpi, again students of Management School, TME. So I would request the backend team to kindly unmute our participants, Mehak Mathur, Rishabh Singh, and Shimpi. And kindly make them the co-hosts as well. We have Mehak as the co-host.
I've done it for all of them, ma'am.
Mehak and team, you can start your screen sharing. Ma'am, Rishabh Singh instead of Rishabh Agarwal.
Shimpi, can you please?
Rishabh, you are not the co-host yet, so you will not be able to share. Just wait a second.
Done.
We will
Yes,
share.
now you are the co-host. If you want to share, you can share now.
Shimpi, can you please share the screen?
Yeah, 1 second.
All the best, Rishabh and Shimpi.
Request all the members of this team to
Thank
please
you,
turn
ma'am.
on their video as well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Simply, can we have your presentation? Yes, it has started the screen sharing.
Just a second.
Yeah.
So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shimpi from DME Management School. So the topic of our presentation is dependency of online platform on remote working.
So the contents of the presentation are introduction of the topic, objectives, methods, challenges, positive and negative impacts of remote working, research methodology, recommendation, and finally the conclusion of the topic. So, what is an online platform? An online platform is a digital platform that facilitates interactions between two or more users. Companies like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, Hangout, etc., they are playing a very important role to connect people on online platform. They are helping us to connect to the virtual world. Platforms like these have made possible to work from home. We can connect with people around the world only because of these platforms. Now, what is remote working? Remote working is a way in which people work from their home or some other places other than the organization's usual place. Next is the objectives of our research. Number one, to look specifically how remote working dependent on online platforms. Second, to know how different sectors keeping balance in their work life, and to know how online platforms are impacted by remote working in both positive as well as negative ways.
I think there is some connectivity issue.
Next is methods. So there's a lot of methods and online platform to mention in our presentation. Number one, Zoom meetings. Zoom is a cloud-based video conferencing app. Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, Shimpi, you're audible now.
You're audible.
You're audible, but I'm seeing some gray patches on your presentation. I don't know, is it at my end or everybody is seeing it?
There are gray patches. I can also
Okay.
The top and on the right hand side.
Yes.
I think maybe that can be through due to some connectivity issue or.
I think there is some file which is overlapping the slideshow. She has opened it maybe.
Keep this PPT open, Shimpi, and close any other file if that is open.
Okay, ma'am.
Still there. Still there.
Ma'am, may I continue?
Yeah, you continue. You continue. Don't worry about that. Continue.
Okay. So the methods of remote working. Number one, Zoom meetings. Zoom is a cloud-based video conferencing app which offers meeting and webinars and provide content sharing and video conferencing capability. In 2020, Zoom has become one of the leading video conferencing software apps, and also it has been hugely successful for the social events too. Second is Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is a business communication software uh, uh, developed by the Microsoft. It is a part of Microsoft 365 suites. It has various features like note taking, scheduling, screen sharing, and instant messaging. Third is GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting is a web-hosted service created and marketed by Logmin. It enables the user to meet with other computer users, customers, clients, and colleagues on the internet. It also provides an option to join meetings from any other device, including a Mac, PC, Android, or any iOS machine. Next is BlueJeans. BlueJeans is a web conferencing app, especially for the enterprises. It facilitates participants experience with one-touch joining for meetings. Next is Cisco WebEx. Cisco WebEx, with this software, you can organize events, webinars, and video conferences. WebEx Meeting Center offers numerous services that make businesses to communicate, like it start whiteboard for the people's idea. It supports Outlook, Office 365, Google, and more. Next is the challenges faced by working remotely. Number one, distractions. So there's a lot of distractions in working from home, especially when it involves kids and pets, and also there's a lot of other distractions like TV, Netflix, and Facebook. So it is very challenging to work in this kind of environment. Second is technical issues. Technical issues are most common work issues, work from home issues. It slow down our productivity due to unreliable internet connection. Screen fatigue. When working from home, we tend to use multiple devices simultaneously. This not only causes digital fatigue, also increases the eye strain, as well as it uh, we tend to have more headaches also. Fourth is team members cannot engage directly with their colleagues and leaders and may feel disconnected, like some jobs demand physical appearance of employees. It also reduces the quality of work. Fifth point is working remotely from home often result in a fusion of work at private life, and some employees may have difficulties to disengage at the end of the workday. Now, Rishabh will tell you more about this topic.
So now we'll look at the positive impacts of working from home. So first one is flexible schedule. So in order to be good in doing the work that we have been assigned, we need to be flexible in doing that. We should schedule our work with flexibility. If we will be rigid, then we will not be able to do that work in an efficient manner. Next one is custom environment. So in custom environment, in this way of working from home, the person get the authority of customizing his work in more systematic manner, and can help others also to do it in that particular manner. The next positive impact of working from home is that we are free from crowd and traffic. So in a country like India, it is a major positive impact on people, because in India people lose most of their time in traveling and being in traffic. So it provides them the benefit that they can give more working hours to their company by while sitting at home only. The next positive impact is save money. So while sitting at home and working remotely, there is a lot of money being saved, because we are not expending money on traveling and and on on using fuels that we have been using since so many years. So lot of money has been saved. The next impact is that we tend to spend more time with our loved ones, family, friends, because if a person spend a lot of time with his family and his dear ones, he feels motivated, and he can also make others all. If he is happy, he can make others also happy, and in that way he can concentrate more on his work as well. Next slide, please. So there are few negative impacts of working from home as well. So the first one is difficulty in sticking to our routine. That means while we are at home, we have to manage our work life as well. So in order to do that, we are not able to maintain or follow a particular routine, in which we lack in efficiency in completing our task that we have been assigned. So it is very difficult for people to manage such things. The next is missing important calls or pins. Like while we are at home, we have to do other household works as well. We have to manage our family as well. So in doing those things, we can miss on some important calls or some important assignments that we have to attend or we have to complete. The next negative impact can be boredom or working slow. Like if people are spending their whole day on working on these online platforms and being working from home only, so they get bored by doing this work whole day. So in that order, they can lose their efficiency of doing the work, and their speed of doing that work can become slow. The next impact from working from home is network issue. Like we have seen, there is a lot of network issue in some areas, due to which we cannot complete our task in on time, and due to which the work that we have been assigned lacks. So the next impact is lot of distraction. While working from home, we face lot of distractions in our households. Like we have family members and other people also who can distract us, or there are many other ways through which our work can be distracted. And the next is lack of motivation. While we are at home, we are not able to meet our colleagues that we used to do in the office environment. And we don't have anybody to motivate us that while doing this work we can achieve a lot of things. So there is a lack of motivation, and due to which it can impact in a negative way to the work we are doing from home. Next slide, please. So the research methodology in this study, we have taken the information about how the online platforms are affecting the people while they are working from home. So we conducted a survey in which we asked people about their work lifestyle that they are managing while being at home. So we got a mixed reaction from people. Some people said that they feel more motivated, or they feel more comfortable while doing work from home, while the others said they used to enjoy the office environment, meeting their colleagues or peers. So they thought that that would have been the better way. So in order to that, we have collected a secondary data from various websites as well as various reports that told us the new normal that is working from home is about the working from home and about its benefits as well as disadvantages it give to us. Next slide, please.
Rishabh, it's 12 minutes 38 seconds by now. So
Yes, ma'am, we
maximum.
have only 2 slides.
Okay.
So in recommendation, I would say that in order to maintain both their work life and and their household, the people should do their work in an efficient manner. They should take care of their health as well, and they should look after their work which they have been assigned. They should do their household duties also. So in order to do that, they should maintain a particular schedule that they should follow, and being consistent in doing that. So we'll look some steps also. Next slide, please. So working for you can take a decision of working for the same hours that you used to do in the office hours, and you should maintain a proper organized work routine. So in order to do the work efficiently, you should be mentally and physically fit. So in order to remain fit in these difficult times, you should stay healthy and do regular exercises like yoga and meditation, etc., in order to keep yourself fit. And you should take a proper diet and remain hydrated, and you should follow a proper schedule so that you should not mess up with the things. And it can be better for the work life, and it should be better to keep work life separate from the home life. Next slide, please.
45 seconds to go.
So in conclusion, I would like to say that we have looked at various various objectives of the online platforms, various types of online platforms, what are the challenges, and what are the positive and negative impact of online platform on digital working. And I would say that this is the new normal for all of us, and it will last for a long time. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Rishabh and team. The presentation was completed within 15 minutes. Now over to Professor Nagendra for the Q&A session and Dr. Purva.
Yes, Rishabh and Simpy. So you presented very well, and my question is, now your data collection is from secondary sources. Am I correct?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, from secondary sources, and those are reports. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how did you analyze those reports in coming to the conclusion? What is the method that you use to analyze those data?
Rishabh, you have
Like,
to tell about your methodology. Yeah.
so we didn't refer to any method particularly. We looked at various reports and we took various data from these reports, and w- then we did the research by ourselves in doing that. And we also in we collected secondary data, but also we have taken the survey of around 20 people who are maybe can be our uh, neighborhoods or neighbors or family members also.
Give me precisely the answer. So secondary data is your main data source, right? So my
Yes.
question is, how did you analyze that data?
Did you use any tool, any technique to analyze your data that you have collected? That is what sir is trying to ask.
No, we have not considered any tool. Through the reports, we took various from that report only we took various data and we collaborated it, and then we written that in our research paper.
Ma'am, we have conducted a survey in which we have analyzed the opinions of various peoples which have reported, and we have also collected data from various websites and news channels to analyze how people are managing to work, and we have also
Yes, children.
suggest.
Children, yes, you have done all of these things. My question is, what is the analysis method that you used? Maybe it's the survey, maybe the secondary data source. So how did you analyze to go
So
to
we have used secondary data method.
secondary data method is data collection method.
Yes, yes, sir.
What is the analysis method?
Uh,
Okay, I am okay, Dr. Purva.
So if I may tell you something here, these students are
I
actually
guess these children have
recently,
not studied RM, I
yes,
guess.
yes. These have recently gone to second year. So this is the first research paper they have written. So they do not have any knowledge of research methodology or anything for that matter. So this is so that is why they might not be able to answer it. Of course, they might have used something called averages. Maybe Rishabh, you might have averaged the data. Yes, so that is a tool that you have applied.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So may I conclude that these students are presenting their papers uh, before getting into the research methodology module?
Yes, they will be studying RM in the next semester. So
Then
this
this
is
one
the
is,
first step into the world of research that they have taken.
then this is only a project assignment, not a research paper. Am I correct?
Yeah, I can say it may be a descriptive research that they have tried to undertake, simply describing the data that they
Precursor. It's precursor to a proper paper. I guess this it's kind of a synopsis, preliminary work that we do, and then we begin with the data collection and analysis. And so this is a good start, I would say. but then it will lead to a good conclusion when they actually use a tool. Because generally what happens is that of this age group children feel that average or percentage, that's just a way of representing data, but that's not analysis. So I guess, sir, we might give them some leverage that they are trying, and it's a start of a research orientation, at least, that they want to study something more, and apart from their syllabus, they are curious enough to understand some ongoing situation in the business environment. So that ways, I think it's a good initiative. But yes, it requires a sustained effort from the research methodology part of this. That's what my take is. Sir can guide better.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, moving ahead, we have a third presentation by Mr. Manish Singh. The title of his paper is Changes Brought in Educational Sector in COVID Era. I would request my team to please make Manish Singh the co-host and as well as unmute him. Mr. Manish Singh, you are the co-host. I would request you to please turn on your video as well. And you may share your PPT with us. Please turn on the video, sir.
Yeah, I can see.
Can we begin now, Mr. Manish? You're on mute. I can't hear you.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes.
Please turn on your video also.
Okay, ma'am. I have my colleague also with me. I want you if you can make her co-host Anju Singh.
Okay, sir, sure. Please, backend team, please make Miss Anju Singh the co-host as well. Sir, she's the co-host now as well.
Okay, fine. Thank you, ma'am. Should I start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all, I want to extend my warm greetings to Purva ma'am and again, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, and a special thanks to the faculty of all DC members. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So, my research moves around the topic change brought in education sector in the COVID era. So what we primarily decided we need to understand what COVID era is basically, and then we try to understand what are the changes were brought in the education sector. So I would like to start with the introduction. As we all are living in the COVID era, then more than 1 billion children has been affected. Their education has been affected because their education system has changed overnight from traditional method to more modern method. It was on 16th March 2020 when government of India decided to shut down all the schools and to start with new method of teaching. New method was not adopted or proposed by CBSE or any other UGC or any other educational institute. So most of the people in India, they were in fixed how to start and how to take our classes. So my basic objective of my research was to understand the change in the educational system which are brought under COVID era, emerging changing in the teaching methodology, how teaching methodology has changed, what were the problem faced by us, and the impact of online classes and other digital platform both on the teachers as well as on the students, and response of teachers and students to this digital teaching. So just keeping these 4 parameters in my mind, we conducted the research. My basic tool which I used, I read many surveys, reports which were being published by government organization. Government organization. Apart from the government organization, I myself and my colleague, Ms. Anju Singh, we conducted survey of 40 teachers, which was on Google Form. Apart from this, ma'am personally interviewed them, keeping certain questions in mind. With I just first to start with the change methods of teaching. Like looking at this change of colleges and school being solved, government of India has introduced many changes. Like what? The Ministry of Human Resource Development has proposed many new techniques and methods. Apart from schools, now I'm not discussing schools or the higher institutes. What they did, first of all, would like to put more light on what government of India was doing for it. Government of India, they have started with the home TV. They started with their own TV channels. Their 24/7 assistance was provided to the students on ranging from nursery to 12th standard, covering almost all the subjects, and radio channels were introduced for to giving vocal assistance to the students who do not have access to internet. As Akshita and Aditi and your Shimpi and Rishabh, they have already told that there are major network issues and some problems. So keeping this thing in mind, government of India, they started with a radio program, like many on All India Radio and on Vivek Bharati, many educational programs had been set up. Apart from this, during the lockdown, what schools were doing, we started taking classes on many virtual formats and many remote working. What we are discussing, we started taking classes on WhatsApp. I personally started taking online classes on WhatsApp. Apart from WhatsApp, we started taking classes on Zoom meeting and on Google Meet. Ma'am, I would request if you can please change this slide. We are not changing methods of teaching because I certainly don't have the access. I'm just in fix as some network issues are coming because of some technical glitch. I'm just not able to change the slides. Anju ma'am, can you please change the slide? Changing method. What government of India is doing, we have already done with it. What schools they have started? They started taking classes on WhatsApp. Apart from WhatsApp, we started taking classes on Zoom along with Google Meet. So there was certain problem related to Zoom as well. It was there in news all over the globe that your data has been hacked when you're using Zoom. So Google Meet is the more reliable. So we shift to the Google Meet. After that, Geo started with this video conferencing. We moved to the Geo thing, but we stick to the certain platform. Almost most of the school in Delhi, they stick to the Zoom or on the Google Meet or on the Microsoft Teams. These are the basic three tools or the devices or platform which was used by our teachers to take classes in the higher education and secondary higher education system. And please change the slide. Various online portals.
Just a minute, sir.
Apart from the virtual platforms like Zoom and WhatsApp, government of India did not stop there. It also spreads its limit to majority of the students. And we started with what? We started with many portal system to all those students who do not have access to the internet, or those who do not have a smartphone, or those who have a smartphone, they usually just have one mobile phone at home. See what problem students was facing, like there are 4 to 5 students like siblings in different classes, and when we are posting our timetable, then almost all, if a person is in class 6 and his elder brother is class 7, there was a collision. One boy is having his maths class and another boy is having his science class at the same time. So school was also trying to solve this problem, and apart from school, government also took initiative and government launched various portals to deal with such problem. And I just discussed few portals which government of India used to solve all these problems. It was Diksha portal. So what Diksha is actually? It was a portal used by Madhya Pradesh government, and in Madhya Pradesh, what these people they are doing, they are providing visual aids, they are providing notes, they are providing PPTs, they are also providing online assistance to all the students in not only in Madhya Pradesh but all over the globe. Apart from Diksha, there's e-Pathshala, which is performing the same task. I'm purely looking into the website which is being added or somewhere owned by the government. I'm not looking going into the private players at all. Apart from this, National Repository of Open Education Resources was also opened, which was looking into the problem which was faced by the students. So the number of classes which a student can take, especially in the primary section, from first to fifth, was reduced from 4 classes a day to 3 to 2 classes a day. Same kind of steps was also taken by government in the higher secondary part, basically from 10th to 12th, where the number of classes was reduced from 6 to 4 or maximum to 5 a day, with a break of minimum 10 minutes between 2 classes, so that they can have relaxation exercises for their eyes. They can go around and have some mental peace in their mind. Apart from the NROER, we also have e-professor and e-learning trends, which was very much uprooting, which better to say mushrooming in the present scenario. We need to understand what was the positive impact of the COVID on the education system. See, this transformation, this transition was overnight, and this transformation toward lead to the more blend learning. Blend, it was a mixture for both. It was a new type of teaching for a teacher and new type of learning for a student as well. So it was a transformation and blend learning process, and it was an advancement in the use of learning methods. It was not only the teachers, not only the school, not only the education, but the society as whole was developing new management system, how to learn it, how to make it, and how to implement it. And this implementation part was comparatively a bit tough. From March to say June, there was many major problems which were being faced by many teachers and students as well. Today we are in learning management system. Apart from this, there is rise in the use of soft copy of learning material. See, when I'm giving lecture in my class, I take classes. So what the students are generally doing? If I'm presenting my screen, they take their screenshots. They're taking a screenshot, or what I'm doing, I'm sending files in the PDF form. They're getting it print out of it. So it gives rise to the new culture, which is soft copy as a learning method. Now I'm not dictating things, they are not noting it down, but I'm providing them PDF and they are getting copies of it. Now, introduction of collaborative work. Now, this collaboration is from many ends. Collaboration between the student, between the management of a school and a teacher, between teacher and the parents. How? Like when we are taking classes, we need to take in confidence parents as well, because initially parents were very reluctant to conduct the classes. They were not very much convinced that how can classes be conducted online. For higher institute, for BA, BCom, or for MBA, taking online classes was somehow convenient. But to convince a parent of whose child is in A standard or whose child is in 6th standard become a major task, because asking that to sit before mobile phone for 20 minutes or for 25 minutes, when he has access to his phone where he can play games, where he can watch his cartoon, was a major task. So there was a collaboration between parents and teacher. We as teacher and parents, we both collaborated to make them sit. We both collaborated to try to understand things. School collaborated with teacher to provide them with the all material they needed. There was a shift from physical whiteboard to the virtual whiteboard. Apart from this, there's increase in the online meetings. Now we are in the online meetings. If it would have not been the COVID time, it will be a conference which will be held in a physical environment. But now we are taking meetings online. So there is a huge increase in the number of online meetings. Apart from this, there's an increase in digital literacy. There are teachers in my school as well who are like 45 years or 50 years of age. They are not that computer savvy, but the positive impact of COVID is that now they are more advanced in using Zoom or your Google Meet or software team that what I am. So it has increased the digital literacy among both teachers, students, and parents. Now, like taking in accounts, ma'am, can you please change the slide? Negative impacts. Now, taking in account the negative impact of COVID on education system, the first thing which I just want to throw pressure on is the educational activity obstructed. Because we as a teacher and or we whole as an academicians, we initially felt problems like how to do and what to do and how to be more productive. Initially, that month of March and April we were in fake situation, accept it or not, but yes, we were in fake. Even sir said that he was having a tough time with his staff. Yes, all people are having tough time with their staff, and this tough time lead to unemployment. Like what? But the second negative thing was impact on employment. Many people in India, many teachers, many people in the corporate, they lost their job overnight. Particularly talk about the people, specifically the group D. If there was this thing, what Jisha was saying, work from home. When people is working from home, there was no need for the group D people. There's no need for a sweeper. There's no need for a person who can prepare tea for the staff and stuff like this. So people loses their job. Unprepared teacher and student for online classes. As I already said, even teachers were not prepared, students were not prepared. If I talk for myself, I was making videos using WhatsApp. I was sharing my videos because even I was not very apt with Zoom classes. I was not very adaptive and computer savvy with using your Geo app or your Google Meet. So it was a preparatory period, and in fact now people are teachers are facing problem using your new online education system. Now there's decrease in global employment opportunities.
Sorry to interrupt. It's 13 minutes, 12 seconds. We have a maximum of 15 minutes.
Okay, ma'am, I'll just make it fast. Okay, decrease in the global employment, because we know that all those MBA students who are in their second year who are looking for the placement, they'll not get placement. In fact, overseas, there's a huge cry in the market. That apart from this, there's increased responsibility of parents in education. When we particularly talk about the students in LKG and UKG, now parents are playing more important role, and loss of nutrition because of the ending of midday meal scheme. As the midday meal scheme has stopped, nutritious food to underprivileged students has been decreased. Now I would request Anju ma'am if she can please conclude our meeting. Last slide.
Good afternoon, everybody. Now I am concluding this. The future of the education, first point is that the future of the educational technology market too looking promising, promising and head advancing in term of technology. In India, now we are in the second large position in the world in education technology industry, and it in the country has further increased due to COVID-19. And second is India has a dynamic education system collaborating with the new age technology can be a useful tool to help increase efficient and engagement among communities. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, panelists, and thank you, faculty member. I will request your questions if you have any.
Thank you, Mr. Manish and Dr. Anju, for the presentation. The presentation was completed within 15 minutes time limit. Now I request both the chairs to kindly open the Q&A session.
Yeah, Manish Singh and Anju Singh. Good presentation. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. My question is changing the education sector to IT, whether we can change entirely the lab sessions, how we can incorporate the lab sessions into.
Okay. So you asking about how can we incorporate lab session? Thanks for your question, sir. So it's not how we are incorporating. The lab session has already been incorporated in the education system. Now, what we are doing, many portals had been introduced by the government, and many private schools have also started up with their this thing online portals. What they are doing, it's a very magnetic and very attracting kind of technology which these people are using. Say for example, if I take electric circuit, so they have this picture of all the electric circuits. They can make, they use this wire, all the fuse, bulb, and they can use it on the laptop or mobile phone, whatever they are using. And certainly if that circuit is not fixed properly, it will start burning. Now, because of that technology, when I was physically present in the lab, it was more of the hazard. Like I was afraid a student can get fire or something like that can happen. But when they are doing it virtually on the laptop, on their mobile phone, or any other thing like that, they are playing with the
Excuse me,
that
that is
thing.
my question is, so the virtual labs are there. My question is whether the real experience of lab sessions be exposed to the students through the virtual culture. Say for an
So it
example, engineering, medical side,
Mhm.
whether it could be done in real sense.
So it's virtual, which we are already discussing. A real thing is completely different. The physical hazard are there, something how to deal with chemicals, how to deal with particular wire is talked to them. But when we are dealing with things virtually, of course, all those things are missing. How much we can try to make them look, I will make them look realistic, but certainly they are not real. But at this point of time, we are in fix. We can try to make them so that they do not suffer any loss. But still, I'll stick to my word. It looks to be real, but actually they are not real. They are virtual.
You are correct. You are correct. Thank you very much. So very good opinion.
Thank you, sir.
The higher education, as far as this faculty of engineering and faculty of medicine, those the higher level learnings are concerned, what you said is very correct. So we make 100% virtual. We can do it. We can do it 100% correct. But
yes,
when it comes to the reality, a little the gap is there.
Yes, they can be real, but they are not real actually.
Fine. Okay. I am okay, Dr. Purva. I am okay.
I do have a question. Your topic says changes brought in education sector in COVID era. This
Yes,
is in respect to a particular city, state, country, many countries, because your topic is, doesn't convey
yes.
what is
As
your
I
study
started,
area.
ma'am, as I started on my slide with research methodology, I make it clear that it's particularly with the higher education in Greenfields Public School, where we surveyed 40 teachers. Apart from this, these 40 teachers, 5 were not from the Greenfields Public School, but the school in the our adjoining areas. So it was prepared by Google form. We sent the Google form to them. We averaged it, and then we presented all these things. So it's like particularly related to Delhi.
So the method you used is averaging. I mean, any empirical tool to analyze the data?
Ma'am, it was more on the survey, like physical. Again, we are living in an area in era of obstruction. I was sending my papers. I do not get much response from the teachers. So what we did,
so even if you have a 50 sample size, that's good enough.
The 40.
Okay. That's fine, but
that was compulsion, because Anju ma'am, she's the in charge, so it was out of compulsion they have to fill. And we know this is a restriction in that's restriction methodology.
That's blessing, because if Madam Anju is sending, everybody has. I will send a form. Every department member will definitely fill it.
That's the reason
what I do with the data is my work. What I do once my colleagues have filled it, whether they do it happily or out of compulsion or out of duty to the college, then what I do with the data is the work of the researcher.
Completely agree, ma'am. Completely agree to your point. But initially, what surveying, I studied the report from the different organizations. One thing. Second thing, averaging was the technique which I used. Right? Because as Aditi was also saying, and Rishabh had also the same thing, when we get something from Google form, it automatically makes the chart out of it.
See, that is the see for students, I might excuse them because they are just out of class 12th and they have just entered graduation and they have yet to learn these things. But from both of you, I have more expectations than to students who are 20 plus 21-year-old maybe. So my suggestion or my expectation from you is that the percentage and all, they are data representation tools, whether you put them in decimal or you make a pie chart or you make a donut chart or you make beautiful graphs which Google gives us.
Right.
Because Google has a lot of tools. G Suite has tools and it will convert your data collected into certain graphs. But that is only a representation of the table that you collected. It is not analysis.
And this is time I'll not fake my answer, ma'am. This is thing which I've used for certainly for this paper particularly. But I promised you, I will
Okay.
be coming. I will be coming with the next
Every
paper
time
and
we learn,
better
take
tool.
it as a
Wait,
learning and come back
uh,
again with a more paper. Every year we have
Right, right.
conferences, come back
Mhm.
again. So take it as a positive feedback and
Hey, it's a
take it
positive
as
feedback. I'll
something
take it.
coming from your fellow colleague.
And again,
That's
Dr.
all.
Purva, now, since the first presenters were students, I went into the methodology very deeply to dig into, but finally they were very first students. So I was thinking that these two also students like that. So I was very surface in questioning, you know.
Maybe, but the question was a very it was good sir, for me. For me, it was good.
Topic is relevant. You did the collection of data. You've got you just have to use some t-test, whatever test, chi-square, whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
But we can't conclude unless we test the hypothesis, and we can't come up with some relevant recommendations and suggestions. And then there is a lot of scope of future research, when we follow the right process. So good luck to you, and see you again on the conference in 2022 again with more papers.
I I'll make it, ma'am. I'll take this point in positive way, and I not promising, but I'll still like make next attempt also in Kamla by 27. I would like to present one more paper with you, with keeping all these things feedbacks in my mind.
Sure, sir. Definitely, we look forward to it as well. Next presentation, fourth paper presentation is in absentia. The author is Miss Namrata, and it will be presented by student Miss Mansi Kaushal. The title of the paper is Parents' Perception Towards E-Learning Offered by Educational Institutes in South Gujarat Region, an Emotional Trap. I request my team to please unmute as well as make Mansi the co-host. Mansi Kaushal. Mansi, you're the co-host. You can share your PPT and we can begin your presentation.
Ma'am, is it visible? Is it visible, ma'am?
Can you be a little loud?
Okay, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mansi Kaushal. I'm a DME management school student, and the topic of my presentation is parents' perception towards e-learning offered by educational institutes in South Gujarat region, an emotional trap. The presentations have been made by Namrata Kilochia ma'am, Hitesh Kumar Patel, and Dr. Vinod Rai Patel. These are the table of contents: introduction, objectives, research methodology, data analysis, recommendation, and then conclusion. Okay, so what is online education? So in this era, wherein in this pandemic situation, wherein students can't go to school or have their education physically, so there is system of online education or e-learning, wherein there is distance learning, taking courses and studying without facing brick and mortar school or university. In online education, there will be continuous interaction of teachers students over internet, which offer two-way communication and offer better learning platform too. These virtual classrooms are not as simple as they look. As we all know, schools thrive on structure, timetables, daily attendance, and lesson plans. So they are all planned, and this is the time wherein they all are trying to enhance it in online mode too. Schools will now need to go multimodal, a mix of live classes, recorded lessons, physical notebooks, and online tests and questionnaires too. So there are some benefits and drawbacks of e-learning too. So the benefits are, it gives easy access to knowledge and one can have it at its own home place and at its own pace. It is beneficial for the students who are residing in rural areas, provided if they are given a strong internet connectivity at free of cost. It is an opportunity to learn for those who are working from home or for persons who are employed at various institutions. The best thing about it is that it saves paper and it reduces costs and offers flexibility. The drawbacks of e-learning are it is it physically damages myopia, text neck, and loss of vision too. Sometimes more of technology will give poor eyesight for the students. It is change in nature and behavior, as more of the technology given will create negativity due to high use of mobiles or laptops every day. Problem of internet connectivity and other technical issues, as not everyone could afford good internet connection, and because of that, if there's no good internet connectivity, then the learning process interrupts. Unavailability of motivational environment like school, here in if the students know that they just have to switch on the laptops, or they just have to connect to a site, so sometimes they just connect and they sleep if they are sleepy or anything. So it's not every time like school attention given is not like school from both the ends too. So, according to author, there are some of the threats of e-learning too, like identity theft, virus attacks, psychological trade tricks, social and media attack. The other types of attacks are mobile attacks, banking frauds, etc. Sometimes people also hack the classrooms wherein the students are studying, and they come between that too, which creates a lot of distraction. So the objective here is to analyze the perception of parents towards e-learning offered by educational institutes in South Gujarat region. The professors here took the study is based on descriptive research design. They took some sampling. Of, the sample size was restricted to only 194 respondents, and the source of data collection was the questionnaire. The respondents were asked to fill the provided questionnaire via Google form without any briefing about the perception of e-learning. This avoided biasness in responses. Sampling frame. The study used a survey approach to examine the perception of parents towards e-learning. The target population was parents of those kids who are going to school and learning through online education due to this pandemic. This questionnaire was distributed among the South Gujarat region such as Valsad, Navrasi, Bharuch, Surat, Narmada, Tapi. Microsoft Excel was used to analyze the questionnaire data, and the subsequent data analysis was undertaken using statistical tools. Now the data analysis. So there were 7 questions in total asked in the questionnaire. So the data shows that out of 194 respondents, 104 were male and 90 were female respondents. Out of the total respondents, 66 were salaried person, 37 were business persons, 36 were housewives, 17 professionals, and 12 were teachers, and so on. Moreover, 32.5% were postgraduate, 30.4% graduate, 14.4% were professionals, and so on from different districts of South Gujarat region. So the first question they asked was, do you believe that e-learning platform is easy to learn, flexible to interact with teachers, easy to study and get material information by children? So there is some graph study, and the interpretation which we get is that data shows that out of 194, 69 respondents agreed that e-learning platform is easy to learn. 53 says that it is neutral, while 53 were neutral towards it, and 11 participants highly agree towards e-learning. Second was flexible to interact with teachers. It showed that 57 respondents agreed that e-learning platform provides flexibility to interact with teachers. 51 disagreed, and some were neutral too. However, only 13 participants highly disagreed that it is not flexible to interact with teachers on e-learning platforms. Third was, is it easy to study and get material information by child? Data shows that out of 194, 65 were neutral in this case, and 56 agreed that they were getting the they were easily getting the materials and information they were by their children. However, 26 respondents were highly agreed and 15 highly disagreed that to study and get material or information by child through e-learning platform provided by educational institutes in South Gujarat region. The second question was opinion towards e-learning and child engagement. So the parents' opinion towards e-learning, according to the pie chart, was shown that 50 more than 52.6% want that it should be only for this class. Some asked for next class. 18.6 said that it is good for future education, and 24.7 said for all kind of courses. The figure 3 was about engagement towards e-learning. It was asked, do you agree that your child is more engaged with e-learning than traditional learning? So 48.5% was saying no, 22.2% said yes, and some the remaining were maybe. The interpretation is data shows that out of 194, 52.6% parents believe that e-learning should be only for current class. 24.7 parents believe that e-learning should be for all kind of courses. However, 18.6% parents believe that e-learning should be for future education also. Data also shows that out of 194, 22.2% of parents agreed that their child is more engaged with e-learning than traditional learning, while 29.4% parents said maybe towards child engagement with e-learning. Third question was feelings of parents about child while e-learning. How do you feel about your child while using e-learning? Do you feel satisfied as learning is going on through pandemic? Worry about the child that they may misdistract while using smart device? Worry that computer may harm organs? So these were the interpretation. Data shows that out of 194, 37 parents highly agreed as e-learning is going on during COVID-19 pandemic outbreak. 62% parents were satisfied. However, only 11 parents highly disagreed with e-learning going on during COVID-19 pandemic outbreak. Data shows that out of 194, 85 parents agreed as e-learning may misdirect their child while using smart device. 52 agreed as e-learning may misdirect their child while using smart device. 23 parents said that it is not misdirecting their child while they are using smart devices. The third was may harm child organ. Data shows that out of 194, 76 parents highly agreed that e-learning devices are harming their child organs. However, 74 parents disagreed and 24 parents were highly disagreed that e-learning devices may harm their child organs. Busy for long hours while e-learning. Do you feel irritated that your child ward is busy for long hours while e-learning? Data shows that out of 194, 52.1% of the respondents feel irritated that their child is busy for long hours, while 28.9% of the respondents didn't feel irritated that their child is busy for long hour, and so on. The next question was whether it increases financial burden. This shows that 46.9% of respondents think that e-learning increased financial burden, while 29.9% of respondents think that e-learning did not increase financial burden and expenses in critical financial situation in pandemic. How did your parents scheduled work to manage their child's e-learning classes? Data shows that out of 194, 58.2% of the parents gave their device to child to manage their studies. 42.3% of the parents brought new devices for their child. 25.8% of the parents borrowed device from family members to manage the study of their children, and 12.4% parents had cancelled their work to manage their child's study. However, 12.9% of the parents had cancelled e-learning class during COVID-19 lockdown time. The last question which was asked, have you faced technical difficulties while using e-learning by child? Data shows that out of 194, 41.8% of the respondents found confusion about different links, 33% of the session time of various lectures, 64.4 respondents found network problems while attending e-learning, 48.5% of the respondents found sound clarity, 13.4% of the respondents found that their child is not active on e-learning. However, 0.5% of the respondents said that their child is missing school environment studying. The recommendations which the ma'am has said that the way from the threats are: keep your antivirus software updated, run regular scheduled scans with your antivirus, never click suspicious sites, use secure network, do not use third party apps, do not download the files you are not sure about, use the block button whenever required, have a habit to lock your phone, may always maintain passwords, and remember it. Avoid advertisements even on legitimate websites. Block and delete the unsolicited emails and contacts as safety tools, and do not share your classroom links or anything with anyone. These are the way from which you can be secured from the threats. So the conclusion which I found that most of the parents believe that e-learning is a good method in this pandemic time, because something is better than nothing, as their child at least is getting some few of the knowledge about their studies. Most of them said that e-learning should be continue in this session only, if not in the future times. uh, pa- uh, the parents have to get new devices for their child, and they also think that it is harming the eyesight and everything. Sometimes parents perceive negative towards e-learning, as most of the respondents found confusion about different links, session time, and faced sound disturbances. uh, Thank you.
Thank you, Mansi, for presenting this paper on behalf of the author. Over to our session chairs, sir and ma'am, for the Q&A session, if Mansi would like to participate in it. Otherwise, since this paper has been written by someone else,
Since this is
so I
in
don't think she would
absentia,
be
This
it
is
is
in,
in,
in
muted
absentia.
once.
we cannot
Yes, sir,
question.
this is in absentia.
We
I
cannot question.
request the chairs if they can mention this against their names in the judgment sheet. Although it has already been mentioned that this has been presented by a student, but in the last column, if we can include this paper in absentia.
In my opinion, the purpose is lost. This is online. So there are three authors. So even one author is not in a position to come online and present. So I'm little worried. I'm not blaming or taking anything serious, but I'm telling the purpose is lost. So I am not in a position to question even the Mansi, right?
Yes.
Same here, sir.
The last presentation for today is again in absentia by our student Kashish Suri. The paper's author, first author is Mr. Yash Bindru, and the title is Role of Technology in the Era of COVID-19 Pandemic. I request ma'am to please unmute Kashish and make her the co-host.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Kashish.
So today I'm Kashish Suri. I'll be presenting this presentation on behalf of Mr. Yash Bindru. So the topic of my presentation will be role of technology in the era of COVID-19 pandemic.
Make it full screen, beta. Slide on the full screen.
Sure.
Slideshow mode.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, is it visible now?
Yes, Kashish, it's visible. You can begin.
So content of my topic will be introduction. What is COVID-19? Technology impact during pandemic, remote teaching and learning, online movie shows, gaming, etc. Educating people, surge in e-commerce utilization and contactless deliveries. And technology impact during pandemic, growth in robotic sectors, monitoring of possible suspects of COVID-19, work from home, updated information diffusion, ensuring mental and physical health of people. So, introduction here. COVID-19 or coronavirus pandemic is not like any other catastrophe has impacted the whole planet. Modern technologies are helping a lot to reach others in dangerous virus spread situations. Modern technologies are not only supporting a lot of battle against the pandemic in numerous ways without a physical engagement, but it could also change the way how we manage such affairs and circumstances in our upcoming life. Today, with the combining advanced like portable mobile technology, online cloud data analytics, robotic technologies, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, 4G and 5G mobile networks, and fast web internet. It has gotten convincingly to test a few imaginative ways to deal with pandemic reactions. So, objective of my presentation to study the role of technology during COVID-19 pandemic and to know about various ways in which technology is helping to deal with COVID-19. One second. So my research methodology will be descriptive RM is being employed in this paper. COVID illness 2019 is an infectious respiratory and vascular sickness brought about the serious intense respiratory condition COVID-2 SARS-CoV-2 first distinguished in Wuhan, China. It caused a continuous pandemic and it has been a year now. Basic indications of COVID-19 incorporative fever, headache, weakness, breathing challenges, and loss of smell and taste. Indications start 1 to 14 days after introduction to the infection. Coronavirus spreads the individual to individual primarily through the respiratory course. After a tainted individual has wheezes, signs, and talks and relaxes. Technology impacted during pandemic. Remote teaching, first is remote teaching and learning. Because of COVID-19 pandemic, nearly all schools around the globe got closed. As a virus spread is dangerous and can reach easily from individual to individual. University over 1.2 billion youngsters cannot go to their schools. Various technologies and digital platforms are being used in provide learning remotely to students straight to their homes on their digital devices like smartphones, laptop, desktop, etc. with the help of internet through Zoom meeting or Google Meet. This rising situation and use of digital platform for providing education has made e-learning as the most preferred mode of getting education today. Virtual coaching of training classes, video conference instruments or apps such as Zooms, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet or web-based learning platforms such as Udemy and etc. There has been a huge flood in utilization of such sources in COVID-19 pandemic.
Second, online movies and game shows. To cope up with COVID-19 stress and anxiety, watching a stream of online content through internet across the world has been a huge surge among people sitting at their homes. As they got as the entertainment for this. Digital platforms used by movie production houses are called as over the top OTT, that is platforms, and include online platforms such as Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Disney Plus, Hotstar, Z5, YouTube Premium, MX Player, Video Shows, and Woot Select, and many more. Over the top platforms have been such a huge ascent in both application downloads and viewership during the lockdown time frame, and some special for subscriptions. Also, to cope up with the boredom of lockdown period and to be safe, there has been a huge increase in the user registration on online gaming platform across the world. Countries like USA, Canada, and European nations and other developed nations where there is an abundance of internet data speed have seen a surge in online gamers. Educating people about COVID-19. With the help of internet, mobile network, SMS services, television and radio broadcasting, it has become very convenient to reach various people at once and a cheaper way, and to inform and educate them about the lethal effects of COVID-19 and how to take precautions against it. Second, Arogya Setu application developed by Nation Informatics Center, that is NIC, under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. The Government of India is a contract tracing app which is available on Android and Play Store. This app is supported a lot of people to keep themselves safe from virus, being educated from time to time about the latest advancement. Educate. Mobile telecom operates like Airtel, Vodafone Idea, Jio, BSNL, etc. have employed caller tunes for disseminating education and awareness about coronavirus, honestly, which we all hate. Closed circuit television, CCTV cameras, flying drones, and facial recognition technology equipped with artificial intelligence has supported a lot in recognizing and spotting people and in educating and warning them timely about the harmful effects of virus who violate the necessary guidelines being issued by the government. And the sudden surge in e-commerce utilization and contactless deliveries. E-commerce platforms such as Amazon, Flipkart, Netmates, etc. have seen a huge surge of orders from users across the country during pandemic situation. E-commerce platforms provide provision and facilities to customers like selecting a preferred time of delivery for the convenience and free delivery for items above specific amount. Faster and even one-day delivery of item, only a charge of less amount. E-commerce platform has seen a huge growth during COVID-19 pandemic era. Growth in robotic sectors. COVID-19 pandemic has affected those sectors which require huge labor like retailing, FMCG sectors, transformation and logistics, various production and manufacturing concerns. Business cannot employ the same labor as it could before the virus outbreak. This has resulted in huge losses to various businesses across the world, but has also given a rise to more and more use of robots and information technology in manufacturing and production. In hospital, robots can be seen as assisting the COVID-affected patient in getting his or her medication on time and taking proper care of ill, thus safeguarding the precious life of various health workers. Remotely operated robots are being employed in some countries for assisting health workers to perform tedious jobs like sample collection from mouth or nose of people for examination and virus detection tests, for performing ultrasound scans and etc. Robots can also be seen being employed in sanitizing various contaminated zones and areas. Spray of sanitizing material into the various affected area. Logistics supports the transportation of COVID test kits to various hospitals and test centers. Contactless delivery of food and shelter to whom quarantine people is made possible with the help of robots only. Now, monitoring of possible suspects of COVID-19 using wireless thermometers. Wireless temperature monitor thermometers powered by infrared technology can also seen being used to various places such as entrance and exit of various schools, colleges, bank, offices, mall, airports, railway station, and various other public location to track with high body temperature. In short, it is everywhere now. Wireless thermometer provide protection to the person who is measuring the temperature, as there is no need to go closer to the other person to measure the temperature. Thus, such devices help in measuring and monitoring temperature from distance. Technology impact during pandemic. Technology has supported work from home scenario during COVID-19 pandemic. In order to sustain the longevity of the business, various organizations have adopted work from home model of working in which the staff need to be present physically at the office desk or place. They can work remotely from their home. Internet, mobile network, smartphones, laptop, desktop, computer, various softwares for video conferencing and virtual meetings, email services, cloud storage, data security, and privacy of sensitive data, and many more technologies have made such a type of working model possible without violating the social distancing protocol, which we are doing right now.
Kashish, your slide is not changing. It's on technology impact during pandemic.
Ma'am, there are so many subheads under that. Can you please
It is
name which
on
one?
online movies, shows, gaming.
Okay. So can I stop share and reshare again?
Okay. Meanwhile, we have shared a feedback and attendance form in the chat window. So before leaving the session today, I would request all the participants to please open that link and give us a valuable feedback.
So ma'am, I was here. So should I go back and repeat myself?
No, you can continue from here only.
Okay. Updated and corrected information diffusion among the populace across the world. Incorrect or outdated information about the current active corona cases in various areas. False information about the government guidelines from time to time against the virus. Rumors about the release of COVID vaccines. Incorrect steps given the precautions against the disease, etc., can mislead the people, which will eventually result in such of cases and will create a huge panic situation. To ensure complete transparency of information about the virus, whether it's from World Health Organization or any other research institution, government or country or whatever is source organization like Google and Facebook are working a lot hard to convey the correct and double check information to the entire world.
1.5 minutes left, Kashish. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Ensuring mental and physical fitness of people. Because of COVID-19, people are confined to work from their homes and using their smartphones or laptops, which restricted their physical movement, and people are getting fatter and unhealthy day by day. Most of people have also suffered depression and anxiety because of panic situation. Apps like Pratico, and many others basically fitness apps are some health apps which can be downloaded into smartphones are helping a lot to deal with such situations. A few a few wellness and well-being brands have begun directing live exercise meeting on their application and online social media. Conclusion of my presentation is coronavirus has demonstrated that innovation of advancement and have been helping in deal with pestilence and opportune methodologically in a quite a way. And exercise gain from COVID-19 pandemic has been a remain arranged well ahead of time against any emergency at both an individual and aggregate level. All we require to battle a scourge like COVID-19 is readiness. Headway in innovation is constantly advancing. It will without a doubt keep on developing and dramatically. It's we people who need to adjust to changes in innovation quicker and keep on putting resources in building an innovation framework for better readiness. Thank you.
Thank you, Kashish,
Thank you,
for giving this presentation on behalf of the author. The presentation was completed in around 15 and a half minutes. Now I hand over this session now to our chairs if they would like to express their any comments on this paper, because this is also in absentia.
No, since it is absentia, I don't have anything to share.
Questions.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, sir. So I request both the chairs to finalize the marks so that we can download the sheet. The first column of objectives and research design, sir, in case of the third author especially, I would request you to please assign him the marks. The first column of objectives and research design, sir. Okay, we have the marks, rest of the marks. Meanwhile, I would request my team to kindly share the video while the marks are being finalized.
Sir, I would request you to kindly fill all the columns in the judgment sheet, post which I would be downloading it, and then further editing will not be possible. So you're requested to kindly fill all the columns.
All the columns in the means?
So if you can see in the first column which mentions the objectives and research design, for the first two papers, this column has also been marked.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good, good. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I request all the participants, those who have not submitted the feedback, kindly share the feedback. We'll be using this feedback and the attendance
Okay, I have done.
the session. Okay, yes, we have the marks now. So, sir, can we download the sheet? After that, it won't be possible for you to edit. Can we go ahead?
You can.
I would like to take this approval from the external as well as the internal session chair.
Yeah.
Can we proceed towards downloading this sheet? Are the marks final for all the participants?
Yes, fine.
Yes, ma'am. All marks uploaded. You can download it.
Okay, ma'am. So sir and ma'am, after I download the sheet, I would resume the editing rights from the sheet so that later on there is no ambiguity in the minds of any of the presenters about the marks. Thank you so much.
Now I would request Professor Nagendrakumar to kindly present a brief synopsis of the papers that have been presented today.
Yeah. So there were 5 papers. All papers are clearly related to the IT inclusion in the working environment, how to include the IT into the work environment, maybe the education, maybe the business, whatever may be, right? So the work is okay, and the overall phenomenon of this session is that the final presenter brought everything into one picture, that how the nation turn into the mode of IT. So even the robotics were in use to tackle the COVID-19 victims. So that is true everywhere in the world, not only in India. So, and also in serving the COVID people. So that is one of the examples that how the IT sector incorporated the corporate social responsibility at the maximum level, that is serving the COVID victims. So, and that was not in these presentations, but I brought it in. So with all the presentations. So for me, the 5 presentations had is the track linked into our team. So I wish all of them the very best and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this brief synopsis of our papers today. I would like to inform all the participants who have presented their paper today that the best paper of this session will be announced in the valedictory session. So I would request you all of you to kindly attend our valedictory session as per the schedule. Now, I would finally like to thank Sir for sparing out his time for sharing his knowledge on the topic of remote working with us for the wonderful masterclass. I am sure each one of us must have had some takeaway from this masterclass by Sir, as well as from the papers that were presented on the theme of IT and remote working. I would also like to thank my team members, Dr. Seema and Bhupender sir, for helping with the Zoom management today. I would now like to thank our head of the department, Dr. Purva ma'am, also the internal session chair for this session today. Ma'am, thank you for chairing the session along with sir. I would like to now thank our convener and co-convener of the conference, Ms. Roli and Ms. Parul, for giving me an opportunity to host this session as well as for holding this session in the first place. Then I would like to thank all my colleagues, our directors for joining in the session, Dr. Ravikant Swami. And no session would be fruitful without a perfect audience that we had in the form of the students, DME students, non-DME students, the faculty members of DME, apart from our department, non-DME faculty members, everyone who has in any way attended this session or helped us conduct this session. Thank you, all of you. And lastly, again, in case you have not filled the feedback form, please fill the feedback form. The link is already there in the chat box. And after filling, we will be ending this meeting very soon. So please open that link. You can copy that link so that even if the meeting ends, the link stays with you. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again.
Okay.
I hope we can see you in the other.
Dr. Nagendra, looking forward to meet you again in the panel discussion on the valedictory day, along with all the fellow colleagues across different countries.
Sure.
Thank you, team. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Keep safe. Bye-bye.